I don't know if this was in one of your videos on your Instagram. You said, I don't know if this is in your notes. You said closer to what I want and what I deserve. Maybe this is like in one of your videos that was on your Instagram. When you say what I deserve, what do you deserve?
I want to be with somebody with old school values, somebody whose actions align with their words, and also somebody that I can count on.
Mm-hmm. What are old school values?
Traditional values. So from learning that I just wore the pants in the family this whole time and took care of my son, I'm now looking for a man that has traditional values, that wants to be a provider and a protector for me. And so I can relax a little bit and not feel like the world is always on my shoulders.
You just want to be more in your feminine.
I do, yeah. I'm definitely in my alpha. I want to be more in my feminine, and I'm always going to work. I'm too ambitious to not work, so I don't want to be a lady that lunches. I just want.
I don't understand. What are traditional values, though, that you're? I understand that you want a man to provide for you, but what are traditional values?
For me, a traditional value is a man that wants to protect and provide for his woman.
That's it.
And whose actions align with their words.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's a traditional value, though.
I would say being a leader in the relationship.
Hang on. Let me just.
I think it's provider protector. Yeah, provider protector.
That's it. That's a traditional value.
Yes, that's what I consider a traditional value, because I've not had that.
And what is it that you bring for him?
I bring a lot. I bring a lot of ambition. I bring a lot of fun. I'm a good cook. I'm traditional as well.
Is a traditional man who's willing to provide for you, does he care about your ambition?
Yes. He supports.
Why would he care about your ambition?
He supports my life and my goals as well.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want a traditional valued man, and you want him to provide for you, then the focus for both of you should be on his career and the advancement of him, so that he can then do that in turn for you, right?
Yes, but I am also at the age where I want to retire, so I'm looking for a man whose kids are also grown, that we're on the same level. So we have the same goals in life.
Well, okay, what are those goals?
To retire in Europe.
So you retire in Europe. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm guessing that, you're only in your 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're a long way from retirement.
I don't think so.
You're at least 10, what did you say, 53? 52, so you're at least 10 years away from retirement.
Not in my mind.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not willing to compromise my standards. So that's why I took a break from dating, because I'm working on myself right now. And I know that once I'm whole within myself, then I will attract the right man, and we will be on the same page. And
I don't know what that means, though. What does that mean, whole within yourself?
Well, I'm working on my mental health. I've had a lot of trauma as growing up. I don't have family. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have parents that are going to give me an inheritance. I'm all I have. And I take care of my grown son. And it's because I worked hard and I made good choices in my life, career-wise. And now I'm at a place in my life where I'm taking a step back. I'm not stressing myself out day to day.
Well, it sounds like you come with a lot of baggage.
Yeah, that's why I'm working on myself.
Yeah, so
we all have baggage.
Well, yes, that's true, but you would have to agree that some people have a lot more than others, though, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, if you come with a lot of baggage and you want a man to provide for you, what is his incentive to do so? That you're really fun?
Because I'm working on myself and I'm trying to heal the baggage.
Yeah, but
So
if
I think
he has
that's
a choice
important.
between, if a man who is successful enough to go and retire in Europe with you has a choice between you and other women who have less baggage, these other women, let's say, and they're not working on themselves, why wouldn't he just pick them?
I think what she's trying to say is she's trying to work
Yeah, she
to
can
get
speak
to
for
a
herself,
point,
I
like,
promise.
a place of
Right.
finding
I promise
that
she
man.
can speak for herself. Let her finish. Go ahead.
Absolutely, because a man would have free will but that's not my man. That's not going to be my person. So maybe my person is somebody that has the same sort of background as me, that also worked on himself and is looking for the same things. And I'm willing
Yeah,
to
I
wait
mean,
for
you
it.
have to admit that that's going to be rare, right? To find a man who's going to retire you in Europe and deal with all your baggage if he has tons of other options which are available to him if you're just kind of working on yourself.
But I have the money to retire in Europe myself, so I don't need him to do that as well.
Then why are you
But-
looking for him?
Because I want to find my person, because I believe in love.
Yeah, right. So then you still have to have a competitive edge, right?
What are you hearing that I don't have that's not competitive with other women?
Well, you said that you still take care of a fully grown adult male, right?
Yeah, well, he's going through college now, and so he can stay with me until he's finished with
And
school
you want
completely.
this other male to take care of you, which I'm guessing means that he's going to primarily be using his resources on you and not your resources on him, right?
We can use my resources as well. I have resources.
Yeah, I know, but he's going
and
to
I
bring a
have-
lot more of them. That's what you're after, right?
I have perks too. I have perks with my life.
I'm not saying you don't have perks. I'm just asking for what the competitive edge that you would be bringing to the table at 53 would be for a man who would bring the resources necessary to take care of you for the rest of your life in Europe. That's all I'm asking.
I don't think that's going to be hard to find. I think that it might take me longer, but I hear what you're saying, and I'm not going to let you tell me otherwise, that I'm not going
I'm
to
not
find my
telling you
person.
otherwise. I haven't told you anything. I've just asked you some basic questions. I
Right.
haven't told
You're
you anything.
saying,
I haven't
oh, you're
said anything.
53. What are you bringing to the table? Well, I bring a lot to the table.
Okay, what?
I bring a lot. I bring a great sense of humor. I'm sharp.
Okay.
I'm funny. I'm smart. I'm
Well,
ambitious.
make me laugh.
I'm pretty.
Hang on. Make me laugh.
That is so dumb. It's like going to a stand-up comedian and being like,
Okay,
oh,
hey,
tell me a
look,
joke.
it's cheap. I agree.
like-
It's a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot, but it's just funny to say, right?
It's funny.
Whenever a woman says
Wait,
they're funny,
It's in the moment.
it's just always been my experience that they're not funny. But the
Well,
thing is
just you
even
can
if
look
you
at my
were even if you
YouTube
were in
or
the
my-
category, hang on, even if you were in the category of being a very, very funny woman, right? All women think that they're funny. Right? All women think that they're funny. So the question is like, okay, I get it. You bring a good sense of humor to the relationship. Obviously, other women will be bringing a good sense of humor to the relationship as well. I'm asking what you specifically are going to be bringing that other women in your age bracket aren't going to be bringing.
I just said it. Did I not just say it?
Wait,
Well, you said
that
you're funny and
I'm
kind
smart.
of quirky. I
I'm
didn't really hear
ambitious.
anything that set you apart.
I am funny. I am successful. I am.
Okay.
Yeah, but men
I'm
don't care about
pretty.
success. They don't care about success. They don't care about how successful a woman is. They care about how pretty she is
I'm
and
pretty.
how well she treats them.
I'm pretty. Have you looked at me? I'm very pretty, and I'm smart, and I'm very sweet.
Okay. All right.
I have a couple things on this, but we do have somebody joining us on the panel here. You can come ahead and take a seat. Morgan had to exit. So we have. She doesn't speak English though, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to ask her any questions. But she can just kind of give facial reactions and so. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Any
I don't
Spanish
agree, Matt.
speakers at the table? Yeah, so just maybe like if. It's okay. It's all right. Anyways, and if you can just scoot into the. How do you say scoot into the table in Spanish?
Métete a la mesa.
Sí. Sí. Okay. So, anyways, yeah. Guys, Morgan was feeling a little little unwell, so she had to go. But she'll be back Tuesday most likely. Anyways, I do want to really quick just to piggyback on what Andrew was talking about. You said you're successful, funny. Really quick on the funny one though. No offense, ladies. I don't think guys care.
They do.
They
If
want
you're
you to be
funny.
clever. They want you to be able to hold a conversation. Really? And
And are guys lying when they say, "Oh, I love you. You're so witty and you're
Yes.
funny"? They're
Yes.
lying.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So then you're leading a girl on and telling her what she wants to hear?
Oh yeah, guys do that shit all the time.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry, hang on. So you're saying that if a woman doesn't look good, maybe she looks fat in a certain dress, that you're just being mean by telling her, "Oh no, honey, you look good in that dress." Is that what you're saying? Or is there times where it's appropriate in a relationship to avoid kind of fights which are unnecessary to just kind of, sure, you're witty. Yeah, of course. I love having conversations. I love the long walks on the beach and the mojitos at night. It's my favorite, right?
Yum. But yeah, I don't think guys really care about the whole funny thing.
All right.
You know? No
All right.
offense.
Well, I didn't know that.
I don't really care.
Well, you're
Like,
just
I
speaking
wasn't-
for yourself. You're.
I
speaking
feel
for
like I'm speaking for
yourself.
90% of dudes.
And for him.
Maybe there's like 3 dudes that like really like funny women. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's 3 dudes in existence that want to fuck Amy Schumer. Don't know. But I will say this. I don't think there's ever been a woman who's like, well, I didn't want to have sex with her. But after hearing that remarkable joke, now all of a
That's
sudden.
where it sealed the deal.
Sealed the deal. Oh, by the way, Andrew, I sent you a text message.
All right.
Andrew. And then the success thing, though. Wait, didn't you say you wanted, like, I forgot what it, I don't know if you said traditional or what?
Yeah, traditional. What I'm
You mean-
saying is I just don't want to have everything always relying on me all the time. I'm looking for a partner.
But,
Like, I'm not looking to,
I got a question for
just
you.
not work.
So you said you went on 45 first dates, right? All different guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm counting.
Of all the 45 first dates, would you say most of them would be like either a drink or dinner?
Yes,
And of the 45 dates that you went on, who paid for the dates?
they did.
In every single, like 100% of them?
Oh, yeah.
Any split?
No,
Not
no one asked
45.
me. Nobody asked me to split.
40, just to be clear, 45 first dates.
Yeah.
And in each instance, the guy always paid.
Yes.
Okay. And then you said there were 3 guys who you dated a little longer than just, most of these guys, one date, that was it. Would they continue to pay for dates?
Yes.
Did you ever pay for a date?
I'm good at like
With the 3 I'm
never a
talking about.
date. I've never paid for a date, but I've offered to pay for dessert or
Okay. Right. What would you
something.
say was like kind of the most when these guys would take you out to dinner, for example, whether it was the first date or one of these guys you dated for 3 months, did any of them take you to somewhere a little pricier when it came to dinner?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think is the most a guy spent on you on a first date?
He told me $3,000
On
dinner. He told me it was $3,000, but when I added it in my head, it was probably $1,500. But it was
Only
that's a lot.
$1,500.
No, it's a lot.
Okay.
And he's the one that's still
Was it
my
like-
friend
what's
to
the
this day.
Fancy? Is it Nobu? Is that the place?
It wasn't. No,
that's
it was an
expensive?
Asian fusion restaurant in downtown LA.
1,500 first. And was this a guy that you saw again or no?
Yeah, this was this was actually my true situationship.
The last one.
No, this
Oh,
was the
wait.
one before him. I was in a situationship with
Oh,
this
I
guy.
see. Okay.
Where he treated me like his girlfriend. He was living his life in reverse. He didn't want anything serious. He had 3 kids before the age of 30.
But first, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so we were in a situationship for about 3 or 4 months.
And then you said so the first date though he spent 1,500.
No.
Oh, one of the dates he spent.
One of the dates.
How much did he? What's the most that the guy spent on the first date?
I would say $1,500.
Oh, 1,500.
I would say that
And
would
then
probably be the most someone's ever spent
That
on
one
me.
specific guy, would he continue to take you on like kind of fancier dates? and
Always.
stuff?
We always went on fancy dates. And he's actually my friend still. He's the guy that I slept with that's still my friend. because he did not want to be in a relationship.
Damn. Yeah, sorry.
And
No, it's nothing. Yeah.
not me. Okay. So, no, he didn't want to be in a relationship, but we had a really great friendship. Like, he's a
Yeah.
great guy. And so we're still friends
sure.
to this
and
day.
So, how often did you see him? Like, how many dates do you think you went on with him?
We saw each other once a week.
For 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe about 10 times. 10, 12, 10 to 20 maybe?
Sure.
Okay. And he would always take you out to a fancy, nice dinner?
Not always. I
but
mean, sometimes we had tacos from the
Sure.
taco truck,
But then other times he'd spend $3,000 on a dinner.
he said it was 3,000, but
But
sure.
He was, okay. And then any of the other guys, the other 3 guys, would they ever fancy dinners? Big.
Yes.
But not one of these dinners you ever paid, correct?
No.
You mentioned that you bring your success to a relationship. You went on 45 first dates. Not one of them did you pay for. And of the 3 men that you did have continuing, more than just the first date. So I fail to see how your success, translation, your finances, your money, has anything to do with your attractiveness to a partner when you're not bringing that to a relationship by your own admission.
I think a lot of guys today in the state of California want a woman that does something
What did
in
you
their
do?
life. I'm saying I have my own job. I have a job.
Well, but, and this is, I'll just be blunt, this is why men don't actually care about your success or your finances, because we don't reap any benefits of your success. So when women say, well, I have these academic credentials and I have this high paying job and I'm successful, I don't have debt, I have all this money, even in your case, you went on 45 dates. Not one did you pay for. They paid for the whole meal. These men would spend thousands of dollars. Some of them would spend thousands of dollars. I'm failing to see how your success or your money would be enticing to any of them, given that they didn't reap any benefit.
That was only one date, but when you don't know, I mean, after a couple of dates, if you have chemistry with somebody or if you have compatibility.
Well,
but
yes.
I don't see where you're going with, because I'm saying I have a job and that
Well-
I bring that to the table, that I work.
Can I add something?
Okay, go ahead.
I feel, and I don't want you to take any offense to this, I feel like your generation was very much
Yeah.
taken into a woman has to have a job, has to be successful, because it was like kind of after the whole feminism thing.
Yeah.
And you guys were like super brainwashed into like being equal partners with the man, and how you say you want like a man with
Wait,
traditional
what?
values.
No. Hold on. So she's 52, right?
Yeah.
While that's been like slowly becoming the case, this is more so the case as time goes on. It's not like, well, it was the case back then.
No, it's still now. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying like everyone
No,
kind
but
of
this
from
50-50 thing, it wasn't like boom in the 90s and then down in the 2000s.
No, it's still now. It's still current.
No, but it's been climbing 50-50. But you're saying it was more so the case in her generation.
No, I'm saying,
which just can't be true.
Okay, like most of, at least the people I know, like women from their 30s to around her age in their 50s, are very much like they want to be more successful than putting the focus on like being, like you said, being with someone and helping them with their career and focusing on like building a family and having children and taking care of their children. They're more focused on like, I need to be successful so I find the right partner that matches me.
Well, I also grew up with a female as the role model. She was the breadwinner. My father lost his job, and so my stepmother took over. So I actually grew up seeing a woman working. So I think that's
Sure,
a lot of
that's-
where my
That's totally fine. But
ambition came from, or where
But again,
uh-huh.
so there were 3 men that you dated for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
At no point in the relationship did your success or finances or money ever get into the picture. So how could your success be what you're bringing to the table if none of the 45 men that you went on a first date with and none of the 3 men that you had a 3-month relationship with reaped any benefits of your success? How can that be something that you're bringing to the table?
Well, those were men that I wasn't compatible with, but my 10-year relationship, we split everything 50-50. We purchased a home together. We did so it was
But that's your past, right?
Yeah,
But what
sure,
I'm saying is that-
that's but wait, hang on. You got to back
so
up.
he reaped the rewards of
Well,
my success.
We understand the
but I don't
idea
see where the
here
45 dates has anything to do with that.
that in a
Because
previous
you're just meeting
relationship,
someone for the first time.
in a previous relationship, you said you split everything 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you said you're looking for a man with traditional values. When I
Right.
asked you what those are, you said he provides for me
And protects.
So it kind of
Yeah.
well, provides and protects, sure. But if that's what your criteria is, then Brian's saying, okay, if that's true, then all of these dates that you went on recently, why would your success be something you're bringing to the table? If they're paying for everything, they clearly don't give a shit about that, right?
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't ask them if my success mattered to them.
I mean, you guys talked about all sorts of different things. You must have talked about work and this type of thing, right?
Some of them were first dates. So you don't go that deep. You just go deep enough to know that, hey, this is my person, or we're compatible. There's chemistry.
But so conceivably, even on a first date, you would say, well, This is what I'm
I did
bringing.
have one guy say that to me. He's like, I like that you work, because if something were to happen, you're fine on your own.
was it only a first date?
It
guy?
wasn't one first date.
Yeah.
That was the only out of all the 45. That's the only time I can remember.
Why don't you offer to? Do you offer to split?
Well, after a while, not for the first date,
Why
but
not?
like if we're dating.
But I thought what
I
you
have
bring
paid for things. I have paid for things.
Well,
in the
not from any of the recently, right?
like I
By
paid
your
for
own admission.
takeout once when they came over, something like
What's
that.
the most you spent? $20 on In-N-Out?
It's expensive. No, like takeout, like Postmates is expensive.
Okay,
like
30,
for
40, $50.
50, 60, something
You ever
like
take
that.
any guy out on a $1,000 plus?
No, because I have a kid that I'm supporting.
What about that guy? Didn't he have 3 kids?
Who? The one?
The guy that spent $1,500 on a dinner.
Yeah, they're adult kids.
Don't you have an adult kid?
Yeah, but
You
they're
have
out of the
one?
house. They're out of the house. I have one who's still in the house
And
that
he
I'm
has
supporting.
3 adult kids?
He has 3 adult kids that are out of, like there's no overhead on those kids anymore.
But so if what you bring to the table is your success,
It's one of the things.
yeah,
I
it's
didn't
one
say
of,
that
sure,
it
but
was
it's one of the
everything.
things. Why don't you offer to split?
Because I have an adult son that I'm taking care of by myself.
Well, I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking about that $1,000 plus. Like if you go get tacos.
I've gotten
$50.
dessert. I've gotten tacos. I've paid for valet.
Okay, but I'm just confused if that's what you're bringing to the table. It doesn't seem like it's manifesting itself in any of the 45 dates that you went on.
I don't care about those 45 dates because they weren't my person.
But you know what? I want to say that I've been on dates too with men, and where I've offered to pay for
Sure.
some of the tab, and they refuse. They get
Sure.
offended when you say, "Oh, here, let me help. Here's my card." And they go, "What are you doing?" You know, they get so
Sure.
butthurt, and I feel like it
Traditional
emasculates
alpha
the
male.
man
Yeah.
if you offer to pay for half the bill, as if they can't afford it. So it's almost like an insult or a slap in the face to them.
Sure, absolutely. I'm sure there's men out there that feel like it would be demasculating or whatever it is. But again, if you're saying that what you're bringing to the table is your success, but I guess I'm trying to explain why men don't really care about this metric.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, do you think men get intimidated by women that have strong careers?
Yes.
No, we just don't want to deal with your bullshit.
Well, what kind of
Yeah.
bullshit happens when a woman is successful?
Well,
Well, I'll explain. So, well, at least from the purview of the traditionalist male, I think. So it seems to me that a traditional man wants his wife to be devoted to him. And so they want the family hierarchy to work like this. The man is at the head of the hierarchy. And then there is the woman, the mother, and then under that is the children. That is the way they want the placement of that hierarchy. So if the woman is devoted to the career and not to the husband, then it creates some type of problem within the set of the hierarchy. And so they tend to prefer that women stay home and take care of children, and they take care of those issues. They take care of the financial issues. And so when you're talking about male betterment, or men trying to work on themselves and trying to, what is the adage, 6 foot, 6 figures, et cetera, the idea here is that you can take care of a family. You don't want to have to compete with your wife's career or whatever your significant other's kind of externalities are to you. You want her to be devoted to you, and then the exchange for that is that you take care of everything on behalf of them. So I wouldn't say it's intimidation. It's just, why would you want competition?
No, I totally get that. But in a way, I think it is generational too. Like, men our age, they want to be providers. They want their wives to stay at home. Now, when I talk to my 23-year-old daughter about her dating life, the guys that she dates or she's talked to in the past, they want a woman that's going to bring 50% to the table. They want a working woman because things are so expensive now. They want to be a power couple with a woman. And I think it's just more like a generational thing.
But wouldn't this
I don't. Well, here's the thing. I think again, I think you're right in a sense, and then in another sense, maybe a little wrong here. If you say traditional, then yes, that's always going to be a generational thing because we're appealing to previous generations for what the tradition is, right? We're not making the generation this tradition. Or, the tradition's not made this generation, it's made in previous ones. So the question then becomes this. If you're looking for a man who has traditional values, when I ask, what are you bringing to the table? I'd be looking for you to bring similar traditional female values to the table. But what I see instead is that women seem to want to move into, I want a man to follow the traditional values of X, but I still want to be more in the set of a modern woman. And I don't understand how those two things get reconciled exactly. So if you want a traditional man to provide for you and take care of everything for you, what are you bringing to the table? That question is talking in terms of tradition.
I would say housewife, like laundry, cook, clean, tend to the kids, make sure he is taken care of 100% in the bedroom and outside the bedroom.
Yeah, but you guys are way past. I'm sorry, I don't mean that. I don't mean this rudely, but you're past childbearing age, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah, so if that's the case, what are the traditional values you're bringing? You're not going to be looking after his kids at this point. So what is it specifically that is a traditional value to be bringing to the table?
I think a man wants a woman to, same kind of traditional, they want a partner. They want someone that they come home to, that they can trust, that they can count on.
I would think they want submission.
Right. Well, someone needs to be a leader, and someone needs to be the submissive one, right?
Yeah, but what does submission mean to you?
Yang. Well, someone who is going to care for the leader in the household, whereby she is going to do things that he's not able to do half the time because he has a career, he's at work. So tend to him, like do his laundry, make sure he has breakfast, lunch, and dinner made and prepared.
Well, those are daily duties. So what does submission mean, though? What does that mean?
For one thing, I know people kind of mistaken like submission to be like the weaker half, but I would have to disagree with that. I would say submission means somebody who is going to take the back seat, or someone who's going to sit in the passenger seat and let the man take the driver's seat and make the decisions in the household and make sure, the budget is intact and you guys are living within your means.
It means obedience.
Correct.
It means obedience. It means to obey. Can you actually take a submissive role? Can you actually obey, even if you disagree, even if he's in the wrong, even if you believe he's completely incorrect? Can you take that role?
I don't think that means that you have to be a carpet.
Right. You still have a voice as a submissive partner. It doesn't mean that you're going to be the weak one and accept all his wrongdoings. You can
What do you
agree
mean
to
wrongdoings?
disagree. You can agree to disagree.
Hang on. Most examples inside of a relationship where there is a submissive partner and one who heads a household are not moral quandaries. They're general quandaries. So I'm not saying that you have to cede to immoral behavior, like he says, I want to open the relationship or something like this. But obedience is, if we're going to spend all of the money on this, we're spending all of the money on this. Obeying means if the kids need to go to X school, I want them to go to that school, even if you don't agree, even if it's 30 minutes out of your way and you think it's stupid. That's what obeying means. It's not always, so you kind of conflate this with a moral quandary. Most of these issues are not moral quandaries, right?
You could still compromise. There's still room for compromise.
Then that's not obey. That's not obedience. Compromise is not obedience. Compromise is the opposite of obedience.
So you're telling me that being the submissive half of the relationship is somebody that is just going to bow down 100% of the time?
Yeah. Unless there's a moral quandary, can you tell me why there's a problem with that?
Well, for example, you use that taking the child to a 30-minute away from home school, right? And then the mom has to be the one to travel and to commute, to do all that. But what if there's a school that's like 5 minutes away that's just as good? Isn't there room
what does obedience mean? Does obedience mean that even though you've had the discussion, he has the final word on it, he says, do it anyway. Even if you don't like it, I'm making this decision, even though you disagree, you don't particularly enjoy this, you think even I'm being stupid, or you think that I'm being out of pocket here. What does obedience mean? What does that mean?
I would say as long as it's moral.
You can't put conditionals. You can't put, well, you can put the conditional only if moral.
Yeah.
But as long as it's moral, what other conditionals can you put on it?
And that's why you have to be very careful on who you choose as a partner, correct?
I think part of having a partner, though, is like your husband should also submit to you. And I'm not saying that
that's not traditional. We're talking specifically about
but
traditional
also, if we're
values
talking,
here.
okay, there could be traditional non-Christian, but there's also traditional Christian. And if you know the Bible, right? Jesus submitted to the church. Does it not say, wives, submit to your husband as the church has submitted to God, and husbands, submit to your wives as Christ has submitted to the church?
Okay, so you're quoting Matthew.
Yes.
So in Matthew, quoting Paul, not Matthew. My bad.
It's, I think,
okay. So when you're talking about Paul, okay, when this is said, I believe it's in Corinthians. Wives, submit unto your husband as you would unto the Lord. Mm-hmm. Unto the Lord, right?
Just as the church submits to Christ.
Yeah, well, okay, but marriage is the figurehead which represents this. So men are going to be the head, which is a representation of Christ, who's the head of the church. Women are going to be the body, which is the church itself. Who does the church submit to?
They submit to Christ, but...
Okay, so then if that is the case, then what is the logical entailment there?
But if you're just taking
what is the logical entailment there?
No, because it even says that husbands should serve their wives. That's part of being a
okay, so let's try this again. If you are to submit unto your husband as you are unto the Lord, are you allowed to disobey the Lord?
No.
Okay, so then are you allowed to disobey your husband?
Yeah, but in the Bible it also says...
let her respond.
But what I'm saying is, you should
answer my question.
I'm saying
answer
willingly,
my question
yes,
first.
willingly.
Answer my question first.
I am
before...
willingly submit to your husbands, but I'm saying don't be with a husband that also isn't willing to submit to you. Don't be with a man.
There's no mutual submission.
That is what it is to serve each other.
No, stop. You're taking Paul way out of context here. When you're talking about mutual submission, especially, the reason that it specifically references why wives should submit, even if their husbands fall astray. Even if they fall astray, is because if a woman still stays true, he can find his way back. So when you're talking about mutual submission, let's start with this idea.
So if a man is providing...
What does submitting to your husband as unto the Lord mean? What does that mean?
That you obey him. But what I'm saying is...
Like you would unto who?
to the Lord.
And are you ever allowed to disobey the Lord?
No.
Okay, so then I don't know what is your argument then?
You made me lose my train of thought. Hold on.
Well, from what I understand from Christianity, the husband is supposed to put the wife on a pedestal, and the wife submits to the husband. So there's a balancing act.
Well, what I was trying to get at is if a man is providing for you, if a man is taking care of you, that's part of like submitting to you, because a man doesn't have to do that. A man doesn't have to provide for his like wife and kids. There's a lot of men that don't do that they want to go 50-50. I think part of a man submitting is saying, I'm submitting to you in the fact that I want to work hard for this family. I want to work hard so that you're able to be here with my children, and so that you can submit to me in the same way.
Let's untangle some concepts here. So the first concept we'll untangle is, I don't dispute that there's a lot of men who will always do X. Totally irrelevant. The conversation we're having right now with you is what Christian couples are to do or ought to. Not what other men do or what a lot of men do or what some men do or what many men do. Only what Christian traditionalists do within this worldview. So untangle that from your argument and tell me, how should Christian women respond in obedience to their husbands?
By serving them and submitting to them.
That's right, by serving them and submitting to them.
Okay, so let me ask you, how is a man supposed to serve his wife? How is
a man is to serve his entire family in the same way that Christ is supposed to be the sacrifice as the head. Then you is the exchanger in this. Because he is the ultimate sacrifice for the family, he takes the bullet. He's the person who has to take all of the heat. He's the person who has to take all the responsibility for the decisions. You shut your fucking mouth and you let him do that. That's what obedience means.
But in that way, isn't that submitting to his family and submitting to his wife?
In the context, if you want to call that submission, you can. And I'm willing to even cede and allow you to, because I think in the church context, sure, you could call that submission. But is it submission when we're talking about obedience? Is a man to be obedient to his wife, in other words? Or is a wife to be obedient to her husband?
Both.
Both. It's 50-50.
I think it's just a mutual respect.
What does that mean? A mutual respect. He says no. What's your answer when he says no?
Oh, yeah, you don't really. Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay, well then what are you talking about?
Well, it depends on, like, obviously certain things, because you're just saying a man shouldn't submit at all to his wife. There are instances where a man is submitting, though, and serving his wife. Okay, what are those
instances?
By willing to be, like you said, traditional and working and providing. That's submitting. Like, if you don't want to see it as that way, but it is. Like, by a man saying, like, I'm willing to put my time to the side. I'm willing to let you stay at home. Like, I want to work and...
Just Gerald donated $200. The more I hear them speak,
Thank you,
the more I love my peaceful, broke, young, submissive, loyal, Christian girlfriend, who accepts all my decisions, who said, I trust you to lead me and our future family.
Gerald, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the TTS.
Okay, I'm just going to cede the argument. I'll even consider this a form of submission. Who has the final say?
In traditional relationships, the man.
No. Let her answer.
Right? Oh, sorry.
Who has the final say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the man.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't. So even if I call it submission, even if I just see the argument and say that that is a man's form of submission, which I don't even disagree with, when you're talking about how husbands and wives are to submit to each other, I'll even concede the argument that that is exactly how a man is to submit to his family. Who has the final say is the man. And that is the point of what female submission is to be. And if that is the case of what female submission is to be, then you have been arguing with me just nonsense, circular nonsense for the last 10 minutes.
I don't mind submitting to my man. I'm just saying we're taking this out of context here. You're trying to go down this rabbit hole. But the whole reason I'm looking for a traditional man is because I've never had that. Because I've had to be the man in the relationship.
You
and
had a
not
penis?
and not to offend anyone that doesn't identify as a gender, or if that's offensive. But what I'm saying is, yeah, I had to be the alpha
You
female.
pegged a guy?
Well, let us
No.
untangle
It's kind of a deal
couple
breaker,
of
actually.
concepts here. So to untangle these different concepts, the first concept we'll untangle is in your relationships. I'm guessing that they're secular; they're not based in a religious relationship.
I'm more spiritual. I consider myself spiritual. I did grow up Catholic.
Yeah.
Secular.
Okay, so they're not Christian relationships. What I'm getting at.
I do, yes.
Okay, gotcha. So to untangle this, me and her were discussing specifically
Right.
in the context of Christianity.
Right. And
So I'm fine with moving back to the idea of like secular relationships. I just wanted to untangle those two concepts really quickly. So now that we're moving back into the area of secular relationships, then it's just an exchange, right? What else could it be? He gets and you get. I don't really see how else or what other incentive there would be absent divine command for you to have a relationship other than just like what you get out of it, right? So that's why I'm asking if it is just a matter of what you get versus what he gets, what does he get? That's all I'm asking here.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Well, I think it's necessary to clear it up.
Yeah. And I agree. I don't disagree. I'd be happy to submit to a man.
All
If
right.
I found one
Oh, go
I
ahead.
could be with.